appreciate our coverage on KCB with an upside of 61.53% based on its target price of 39.98 shillings. Hence, a buy recommendation. The buy recommendation is driven by a commanding market share in net loans and customer deposits currently at 353 billion and 386 billion respectively. The bank has also had a continuous average growth in its profit before tax, currently at 29 billion, and we expect it to grow at a CAGR of 15.08% in the next 5 years. The bank has a competitive edge over its peers, being the largest bank in terms of assets at 558 billion and a market capitalization of 139 billion.
KCB is a century worth of business. Over the years, it has managed to maintain a strong customer base and strong brand affinity. KCB has a diversified ownership structure whereby Kenyan government is the largest stake, holding 17.53%. Moving on, KCB is a pioneer of regional penetration, with the Kenyan subsidiary remitting the highest percentage of revenue at 87%. KCB has an extensive market penetration owing to increase in number of ATM, agency banking, and mobile banking. By year 2020, we expect regional mobile phone penetration to be at 41%, resulting into increase in fees and commission at a CAGR of 13.4%. KCB has strategic partnership, i.e. with Safaricom through KCB and Pesa, which has resulted into increase in KCB loans to shillings 11.3 billion and also has brought in 6.5 million customers in 2016. KCB has an interactive customer platform with the launching of eCRM to enhance customer relationship and being awarded the best bank in social media interaction. On the robust digital platform, the value of digital banking has increased to 641 billion, resulting in more efficient transaction, reducing cost to income ratio. Consequently, with the unveiling of fintech technology, whose main purpose is to increase financial inclusion and boost the number of customers. There's been resilient growth in customer deposit and loans, whereby the customer deposits have grown over the last 5 years at a CAGR of 13.1% compared to the industry CAGR of 14.38%. Also, the loan and advances have increased over the last 5 years at a CAGR of 14.87% compared to the industry CAGR of 15.08%. This has been attributed to alternative banking channels such as mobile internet and agency banking. Recent developments in mobile banking sectors include capping of interest rate, increase in the NPLs, and involvement in the bank assurance.
With the macroeconomic environment, we looked at 4 macroeconomic conditions across the regional markets in which KCB operates, but we majorly dwelt on Kenya because it's the major contributor of its revenue. So first the GDP, and we realized that GDP has been growing across the Eastern African region in 2016, and Kenyan economy started a GDP of 5.5% in 2016 due to ongoing public investments. Therefore, there is likelihood that the credit growth to KCB is likely to grow. The growth in profit after tax in KCB is also partly due to GDP. Second is on interest rates, and the central bank rate rose from 8.5 in 2015 to 10% in 2017. And with the enactment of the new law, we have seen commercial banks reduce their lending rates at a 4% above the CPR, while the deposit rates at 70% on the CPR. And that has led to a reduction in net interest margin and a shift to NFI. And that is on foreign exchange rates, and we realized that there were minimal fluctuations on foreign currency. Therefore, there's a minimal impact on KCB due to stability in foreign exchange market, despite the Brexit and outcome of the US elections. So the fourth and finally is on inflation, and East African inflation has been decreasing due to low oil prices. Therefore, increase the marginal percentage to save, hence increase in deposit. But the Kenyan inflation recently has been increasing from 6.7 in November to 9.04 in February. Therefore, it has a minimal impact on decrease in deposits. And with that analysis on microeconomic environment, we concluded that the region is viable for investment. Thank you.
KCB's position in the industry was conducted using a Porter's 5 diagram. We found that the threat of substitutes and the rivalry of incumbent were high, owing to the increased number of substitute products and the cutthroat competition that exists within the banking industry. However, the threat of new entrants and the bargaining power of suppliers was found to be low. We also conducted a SWOT analysis whereby we found that the major strengths of KCB include the large asset base, which currently stands at 558 billion Kenya shillings, the exceptional innovation capacity, and it has the highest net promoter score among all Tier 1 banks. Its major weakness is the high concern for non-performing loans, which stood at 30.44 billion as of the third quarter of 2016. There are many opportunities that KCB is looking to venture into, which include regional expansion, with it currently having a representative office in Ethiopia, which is the second largest market in terms of population. There are also threats that are affecting KCB, which include the capping of the interest rates by the Central Bank of Kenya and the stiff competition that still exists within the banking industry. On to financial analysis, we found that there has been steady growth in the loan book, its driver being customer deposits. We found that the deposits have been increasing at a CAGR of 23%, and moving forward, we expect the deposits to grow at a CAGR of 9%. We also expect the loan-to-deposit ratio to increase steadily, implying an increased uptake of loans and more aggressive use of deposits. KCB is known for its sound financial position. This has been seen by the increase in revenue channels. We saw that NFIs have been increasing at a CAGR of 9%, and moving forward to the year 2020, we expect the NFIs to grow at a CAGR of 10%. The net interest income has also been increasing at a CAGR of 23%, and moving forward, we expect it to grow at a CAGR of 15% up to the year 2020.
Moving on to valuation, we valued the bank using the excess returns method, the relative method, and the discounted cash flow method. On the excess returns method, we projected over a 5-year period, leading to a terminal value of 35.04 shillings. On the relative valuation method, we compared the bank with its peers, assuming a price-to-book value of 1.24 times, comparing it to its competitors, which led to a target price of 51.49 shillings. On the discounted cash flow method, assuming a constant growth rates in dividends of 13.17% and a cost to equity of 18.88%, led to a target price of 39.63 shillings. Assigning weights of 25% for the relative method, 40% for the discounted cash flow method, and 35% for the excess returns method, led to a target price of 39.98 shillings. We moreover conducted a price to earnings valuation method with a justification of the price to earnings with the Gordon growth rate, where the justified trading price earnings was 8.225 compared to KCB price earnings of 5.13, proving that the share is undervalued.
Moving on to risk, we all know that in every investment there's risk. Therefore, we presented the risk which affect KCB in a risk investment matrix based on the probability of occurrence against the level of impact. KCB is faced by many risks. However, regulatory risk and credit risk stood or outstand. Therefore, credit risk, we were more focused on the non-performing loans, which increased from 23 billion in 2015 to 30 billion in 2016. On regulatory risk, we were more concerned on the capping of the interest rate, which has affected the net interest margin, and therefore the bank is now focusing on the non-funding income, which we expect to surpass the net interest margin in the coming future. Moving on to Camel's risk analysis, KCB is a high-quality institution. Therefore, we assigned a high credit rating based on the capital adequacy, management, earnings, liquidity, and sensitivity to risk. However, we assigned a semi-strong ratings to asset quality because of the high rise in the non-performing loans in the bank. Moving on to ethics, KCB practices high code of ethics, which has been able to maintain investors' confidence. Also on strong credit rating, GCR and SP maintain strong credits on KCB. However, Moody downgraded KCB from B1 to B2. Moving on to social responsibility, KCB is a socially responsible bank, having invented a 50 billion to Jiajiri program that is meant to empower young entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, we concluded our analysis on KCB with a target price of 39.98, implying an upside of 61.53, after analyzing the efficient management, commanding market share, and sound financial position. Thank you.
Looking at the KCB's latest results, it does seem that Kenya is contributing more and more to KCB's bottom line. So the region is struggling. And given that, it means that KCB is principally a Kenyan bank. But there are certain few headwinds in Kenya. You mentioned the interest rate cap law, which will affect, from your statements, margins going forward. There is the issue of IFRS 9 coming in 2018, which might throw in another curve in terms of NPLs and how they account for their assets. Then, of course, the regulation in Kenya is actually also increasing quite significantly. And the forecast for the Kenyan economy is also not very positive. We expect GDP growth rate to slow down. So that sort of indicates that with the regional branches slowing down, Kenya still doing well, that the banking industry in general is probably maturing, and KCB in particular may be maturing and also probably declining, and therefore might bring into question your upside recommendation. So do you agree with this, or you don't agree with this assessment?
We don't agree.
Why?
Basing on its large asset base, one, and being the uptake of Chase Bank, we see that KCB is a force to reckon with in the NSC. So with those with such market factors, and also the KCB M-Pesa and its Mobicash, and it's tending towards non-financial income, we feel that the bank will still be sustainable. Hence, our buy is our recommendation.
To add on what my colleague has said, KCB is now focusing on developing a fintechs which will help the company also to raise some funds, and more so, because of the capping of the interest rates, we see KCB is focusing on the non-funding income, like the mobile penetration, which it's now surpassing the net interest margin, which it used to, or the company used to be, what can I say? Used to be a major source of income then. But now, because now it's now diverting the attention to non-funding income because of the regulation, we see that KCB will still maintain its strong asset base, its strong capital buffer, also in the coming years. Therefore, we recommend a buy.
You've mentioned the coupling of interest rates a couple of times. You mentioned it as a threat and also as a new development in the industry. I want to know exactly how you're seeing it affecting KCB as a bank, on its incomes, on its costs, and everything else.
With the capping of the interest rates, we expect that the net interest margin will reduce because we expect the net income will reduce. However, since the bank is aiming at being profitable, it's now focusing on non-funded income, which include foreign exchange and other alternative channels of income. So yes, we expect that the capping of interest rates will have a negative impact on interest income. However, the bank will look for other alternative channels of raising the income.
To add on what my colleague has said, when you talk about net interest margin, the expense, or I'm talking on cost, how it has affected KCB. The expense on deposits will also increase with the capping of the interest rate, having set a floor, or having with the enactment of the law, it set a floor for at least a 70% on credit, on capital, on CBR rate. Therefore, we saw the deposit rate, it increased as compared to last year, the time before the enactment of the new law. Therefore, with the increase in the deposit rates, we expect that to be costly to the bank, therefore the cost will increase. And also, having set a floor, the revenue will also reduce.
What was the contribution of mobile banking to the net profit for the year? What was the profit figure, and how much of that was due to mobile banking?
It contributed about 14 million.
14 million or billion?
Billion.
So you're saying half of the profit was mobile banking?
got the profit to be 29 billion.
Yeah. So you're saying 14 of that was because of mobile banking?
Yes. That is why we were looking at the penetration, the mobile penetration. On 2015, it was about 30%. But now, currently, it's about 50 to 48%. Therefore, we saw the profit level is, which the mobile banking is contributing, is very high.
You're saying increased KCB M-Pesa loans to Kenya shillings 11.3 billion. So if the total loans are 11.3 billion, are they?
Yes, through KCB M-Pesa.
And you're saying profit is 14 billion.
Yes.
Sorry, that's not logical.
Pardon? Not getting it.
Yeah, if you have a loan of 100 shillings, you can't have interest of 140 shillings. It's not making sense.
No, a slight mistake. The uptake of loans through KCB M-Pesa was increased by 11.3 billion. The profit from we assume that fees and commissions from the KCB M-Pesa are a form of non-funded income, where the loans given to customers through the KCB M-Pesa are the interest incomes. So we found that the uptake of loans from 2015 to 2016 through KCB M-Pesa increased by 11.3%. Not that the loans taken was 11.3 billion.
So do you have a figure of what total M-Pesa loans and total digital loans are?
The figure was just the figure for all the loans and advances.
Do you have an absolute figure for what digital loans are?
It was around 44 billion that were given in 2016. However, for the total loan book was around 353 billion in the financial statement.
Looking at your outlook on the bank, you have talked about, you've given it a buy recommendation, but you talked about it being downgraded by Moody's. Why was it downgraded by Moody's, and why are you still very bullish on this KCB?
First, Moody downgraded KCB from B1 to B2 based on the loans, the non-performing loans, which are increasing in the bank for the last years. We saw that the loans from 2014 were about 4.1%. That is the non-performing loans, which increased to 6.1%. That is in 2015. So in 2016, Moody downgraded KCB based on that high increase in loan, and also withdrew the credit ratings for Kenyan subsidiary because of the reorganization of the group, having changed to a non-operating holding company. So